Okay, this is a tutorial how to bake the ambient occlusion directly into texture. So first, we'll download this Maya file directly from my book, chapter 6. This is already set as ambient occlusion. So here in Maya, I will open that file. Okay, so it's all black. Ambient occlusion. So if I look at the material, you can see here it's a surface material, which is ambient occlusion in mental ray. So first thing I will do is pick up this ground geometry, and then I will go to rendering, lighting, shading, batch, bake. All right, so we'll check the window. I will reset. Okay, so you can see here I will bake selection into texture. All right, make sure it's that. And then I will override the bake into occlusion. So now, if you convert, you can see the whole ground, the baking action will actually generate an image. The image will be directly mapped into this new shader. The tricky thing about that is Maya automatically link this new image into incandescent channel, which I think later I will just reapply into the color channel. For the incandescent channel, I will actually break the connection. So it will display directly as a color channel. Just make sure. The reason is later we're gonna compile that into a OBJ file. And also, if you check the location of this image, it's a TIFF image. This is a problem too, because later we have to use JPEG to compile with OBJ, because the limitation of that real-time program we're going to use. So I will change the file format to JPEG and select the ground, bake one more time. So this time it will generate a JPEG file. So here in Hypershade, let me just delete unused nodes. Clean up this a little bit so you know exactly. This is the new one. I just make sure you use middle button, drag and drop, and choose color channel. It has to be a color channel. So that's the color channel. Okay, you can see this arrowhead here. All right, that works pretty well. And then let's do this for the box. This box is pretty complex. For complex shape, you have to do a mapping first. So I go to the Edit UV, actually Create UV, Automatic Mapping. And after you create a mapping, then select entire objects, do the convert. And just make sure it's a JPEG. This is resolution, not high, but that's okay. So you got this really nice texture for the box. Here I want to talk a little bit about the image you generated. It still is a JPEG. I will drag to the color channel. Okay, so you can see it right here. Color channel. You can also check the actual image is being saved into the default project folder. So the default project folder you can check is actually here. If you check your script editor, you can see it. So now I'm going to take a look. Just make sure this is my default project folder. So here under render data mental array light map, you can see this new material show up. You can also check the window and UV texture editor. So this is the editor. If you let me close the Hypershade. So if I select the box, you can actually see this is the box being projected against this two-dimension image. So that's the really nice relationship. Select this one, you see this is the ground. I want to let you know is this technique will not work for super complex geometry. So if you have like a super extrude sphere, this is really complex. Even you create automatic mapping, you see the geometry has been break apart into too many pieces, and each one is tiny. So it doesn't really make sense to do a texture baking for the ambient occlusion. Right? So in this case, I would just delete this guy. All right, so you left a black hole here. I can easily just rebake the ground, so it's gone. Another thing I really want to mention is if you do duplicate a new geometry, like Ctrl D, duplicate a new one, and this new one has a different orientation. Just make sure you always apply a new material first. Let's see, a new Lambert. Let's do that here. I will create a new Lambert and then apply this Lambert to this geometry. The reason is, if you don't do that, these two geometries will actually share the same mapping, the same image. It might be confusing. So always apply a new Lambert material first, then you bake it. So you generate a new map to reflect the new geometry. All right, so one geometry, one map. Right, so keep that in mind. Another thing I want to talk about is every time you bake a new geometry, just make sure you rebake the ground. So the ground will have this new shadow casted from the new geometry. So I'm pretty happy with these three objects. So let me clean up this one more time. Delete unused nodes. I'll just make it bigger, easier you can see. So here, make sure each one, let me close that. Make sure each one, let's just make a window. Yeah, let's make a single window here. All right, that's good. That looks pretty nice. So in a hypershade window, right, just make sure for each shader you use middle button, drag and drop to color channel, right? Because image has to be applied to the color channel. So graph network, color channel. So after that, I will select all three, switch the selection type to objects. So select all three, and then I will export selection into OBJ file. So let's give a new folder, test 8. Okay, I gave the name as test 8. So it's OBJ. In case you don't have OBJ export, make sure you go to plugin manager and you want to active the OBJ export. Okay, by default it should be off. So now if I check my folder, the desktop test 8, so you can see these are all the files automatically generated by Maya. You have OBJ, you have MTL, you also have these three images associated with it. And that's pretty cool. Then I'm going to zip it. Test 8, that's fun. I got a zip file. Then I will upload the zip file directly into my augment plugin. So here I will add 3D model. I will upload test 8 right here and save settings, view the model. So done. This is the whole process how to upload files directly into Augment. So later you can open that from iPad. I do want to mention is if you do want to bake the lighting, for example, this is, I will delete this direction light. I will just create 2 new lights, a point light here. And I will give this light a little bit yellow color, not too much. And I will turn on the shadow, so I will use retrace, that's good. So second light, I create another light. I give this light a little bit, maybe blue color. Okay, and also I think I will turn off the shadow, so only one light has shadows. So this is first light has shadow. All right, then I'm going to bake the lighting condition into the material. Now, this is actually pretty cool as well. So first, I'm going to use Lambert to replace the ground. Right, so the ground right now is Lambert. Then I go to rendering, lighting, batch bake, and I will switch the color mode to light and color, and then choose convert. So now Maya will recompute. You got this color in the image. Actually, I should check bake shadows. Yeah, do it one more time. All right, I didn't see shadows show up. That's interesting. Let's see, light and color, bake shadows. Let's do this. I will give a Lambert to the ground as well, and then rebake. Just make sure the shadow has been checked. Bake shadows. Okay. Yeah, so here we go. We got the shadows right here. It's pretty tricky. You have to apply a new material. All right, then I will do the same thing. I will select this guy. I will apply Lambert to this, and I will convert. So now you calculate the shadow and the color from the 2 lights. So you got this one. It's pretty interesting. And I will do the same thing for this guy. Apply the Lambert first, make it sure it's gray color, and then convert. Okay, so you got these 3 new objects, and then I will delete the unused nodes, and I want to make sure drag and drop, choose color, second one drag and drop, choose color, third one drag and drop, choose color, and then select all 3, export selection. This time I will do a test none, and I'll give name test none. So this one has colors. So now let's take a look at the folder. So here you can see that's 2 images for the bugs, 1 image for the ground, and then OBJ file. Then I will do exactly the same thing. Zip, and I'm going to upload this zip into the augment. So here and test none, and then just click save. So this is the whole process, and hopefully this could help you for this project.